Hello, welcome to our revision series, and this is the Catholic Diocese of Eldoret Pre-Mock Biology Paper 1. Shall go straight to question 1. An electric train is able to move but does not oxidize any fuel, yet it is not classified as a living organism. List two characteristics or characteristic features of living organisms that are not evident in an electric train. And number 1, we have reproduction and growth and development. Those are the two features of living organisms that are not evident in an electric train. Reproduction, it is not able to produce offsprings. Growth and development, it is not able to change in size or develop. Then question 2, identify the disease caused by the following pathogens. Treponema pallidum, and it is caused by syphilis. Entamoeba histolytica, caused by amoebic dysentery or amoebiasis. And maybe for purpose of revision, we also have other diseases. For example, malaria, caused by Plasmodium species, the Malariae, Vale, Falciparum, and Vivax. Cholera, caused by Vibrio cholerae. Then we have typhoid, caused by Salmonella, typhi, tuberculosis, Mycobacterium tuberculosis, whooping cough, Bordetella pertussis. And when writing these causative agents, you need to follow the principles of binomial nomenclature. Question 3. When a patient is suffering from dehydration, the physician may recommend that 0.9% saline solution should be added to the bloodstream. Explain the reason behind this recommendation. And saline solution will raise the osmotic pressure of blood. The hypothalamus then detects the change, not chance, and stimulates pituitary gland to secrete vasopressin or antidiuretic hormone, which increases permeability of the kidney tubules to water reabsorption back into the bloodstream. Part B. Suggest the hormone responsible for reabsorption of dissolved mineral salts along the kidney tubules, such as ascending loop of Henle, and that is aldosterone hormone, which is produced by the adrenal glands just above each kidney. Question 4. In estimating the population size of grasshoppers in a grassland area measuring 5 kilometers squared, 84 grasshoppers were trapped, marked and released. A week later, a second sample was captured. In this second sample, 29 had no mark, while 21 had the mark. Estimate the population density of the grasshoppers in the area. And to calculate population density, you need to find the population over the study area. In this case, to get the population, it will be first captured, which was 84, times second captured, which was 50, over marked recaptured. Over marked recaptured, that is 21. To get this 50, they have said in the second sample, 29 had no mark, while 21 had the mark. You add to get the 50. That is the total of the second capture. You substitute to get 200 grasshoppers, then you find the density population of a study area, that is 200 grasshoppers over the 5 kilometers squared. That is 40 grasshoppers per kilometer squared. Suggest any two assumptions to be adhered to during the study. And maybe this method of population estimation, call it capture-recapture, and the assumptions during capture-recapture. The first one, the mark did not affect the behavior pattern of the grasshoppers. Then grasshoppers did not migrate into the study area or from the study area. Then we also have no reproduction took place or no death took place during the study period. Question 5. The table below shows the results of blood cells counts per millimeter cubic from a sample of people living in different altitudes. 750, 1500, 2250, 3000, 4500, 5000. The leukocytes of the white blood cells remaining the same. Then erythrocytes, which are the red blood cells, keep on changing, and as you can see, they're increasing with increase in altitude. Explain the relationship between erythrocytes count and altitude. And the erythrocytes count increases with the increase in altitude, and this is to increase the oxygen carrying capacity. Leukocytes count, they remain constant despite the rise in altitude, and this rise can only occur due to infection. Part B. Moving from a low altitude to a high altitude within a short time may result in nose bleeding. Explain. At high altitude, the atmospheric pressure is lower than the body pressure, hence bursting of the blood capillaries, leading to nose bleeding. Question 6. Below are two setups of apparatus used by a group of students to investigate a certain physiological process. The apparatus were put in bright light for 3 hours. Some air bubbles were observed to evolve in setup 1, but not in setup 2. Let's look at the setups. Setup 1, we have water, plant. In the setup 2, we have oil layer above the water. Explain why air bubbles are forming in setup 1. Water plant was able to photosynthesize, thus producing oxygen gas, hence the bubbles. Account for the observation obtained in setup 2 of the experiment. Boiling expelled air rich in carbon dioxide gas, and the oil layer prevented re-entry of air, hence photosynthesis did not take place, hence no air bubbles. Question 6. Describe procedure of a test you will perform in the lab to find out whether an individual is suffering from diabetes mellitus. To a portion of urine sample in a test tube, add equal amounts of Benedict solution and heat. Let's have a apostrophe here. If you get a blue color, that will be the individual will be diabetic. Sorry, not diabetic. Then if the blue color changes to orange or yellow, the individual is a diabetic simply because of the presence of reducing sugars in the urine. I can say glucose. Among the evidence that support organic evolution is fossil records. I highlight 3 limitations of fossil records. The first one, missing records, commonly referred to as missing links. Then destruction of fossils by geological activities like earthquakes. Then distortion of some parts during sedimentation. Question 8. A breed of dogs has long hair dominant to short hair. A long-haired female dog was first mated with a short-haired male dog and produced 2 long-haired and 2 short-haired puppies. Her second mating with a long-haired male dog produced a litter, all of which had long hairs. Use the symbol T to represent allele for long hair and T small to represent allele for short hair. Work out the genotypes of the cross between long-haired female and the short-haired female. The parental phenotype, the short-haired, because it is a recessive, small t, then long-haired is heterozygous due to the production of F1 generation, which had a mixture of short-haired and long-haired puppies. It will be heterozygous. When you cross the gametes, it should be inside the circle. The circle needs to be complete, then a cross sign, fusion, get the F1 genotypes. Yeah. In an investigation, pancreatic duct of a mammal was blocked. It was found that the blood sugar regulation remained normal while food digestion was impaired. Explain. Pancreas is a dual gland. Insulin and glucagon hormones are secreted directly from the pancreas to the bloodstream, hence blood sugar regulation remained normal. While the pancreatic juice with pancreatic enzyme is secreted by the pancreas into the duct, hence its blockage impairs digestion. An investigation was carried out on a terrestrial ecosystem. The population sizes and species biomass were determined and recorded in the table. So you can see species A, B, C, D, population size, A and B, same, C, that is 1 times 10 power is 5. This one is only 10. Then species biomass, species D having the highest biomass, followed by A, then C, then B. If this organism's head feeding relationship, construct a simple food chain involving all the organisms. At this point, we'll consider the species biomass. The one which has the highest is the producer, that is D, then followed by A here, then C, then B. Using population size, draw a sketch of a pyramid you'll construct using the data provided. And we'll have the construction, because they have said population size. The population size, D has 10, or there are 10, then A, that is 1,000, then C, 100,000, B, 1,000, and the shape is like this simply because we used the species biomass, which is the most accurate way of sketching the pyramid. Suggest the specific name of the pyramid: inverted pyramid of numbers. Study the diagram below and answer the questions that follow. As you can see, the feet of birds adapted to different environment. What type of evolution is illustrated by the limbs? That is divergent evolution. What does the origin of the limbs suggest about the ancestry of these animals? It suggests that they arose from a common embryonic origin or a common ancestry. With an example in man, what are vestigial structures? And the vestigial structures, these are structures that have ceased to be functional, that is over a long period of time. They have ceased to be functional because they have not been in use. Hence, you say they have ceased to be functional, or they have become rudimentary. Example, we have the appendix, the cecum in man, then we have coccyx, or the vestigial tail in man. The diagram below represents amoeba. Study it and answer the questions that follow. Name the respiratory surface found in the above organism, and that is a cell membrane. Identify the structure labeled J. That is a pseudopodia. Part C, because it is more than one pseudopodia. In case it is one, it is pseudopodium. 32 functions of the structure: feeding by phagocytosis and also movement and locomotion. During an investigation of a certain metabolic process, students set up the apparatus as shown. You can see the grasshoppers, string, net, conic flask, bicarbonate indicator solution. Identify the process being observed, investigated, that is aerobic respiration. Account for the observation made in the conical flask after 30 minutes. The red bicarbonate indicator changes to yellow. This is because the grasshopper respired aerobically, producing acidic carbon dioxide gas, which when bubbled in the indicator solution changes color accordingly. Study the photograph below showing a certain trait in man. Identify the trait. As you can see, tuft of hair in the ear pinna. That is the trait. The trait we have identified in A above is sex linked. What is sex linkage? And sex linkage, genes located on the sex chromosome are transmitted together with those that determine sex. Our genes located on the sex chromosome are transmitted together with those that determine sex. Name any other sex-linked trait in human males. You have premature baldness, and maybe in females and males, that is on X, we can have color blindness, hemophilia. Question 15. Below is a photograph illustrating a germinating seedling. Give two functions of structure labeled Z. Storage of food, protection of plumule, photosynthesis, and these are the cotyledons. Explain how seedling H responds to light, causing it to straighten. Growth hormones or the auxins are sensitive to light and unilaterally migrate to the darker side of the hypocotyle. Higher concentration at the darker side promotes faster cell division, hence elongation. And the darker side elongates more than lead side, hence straightening of the seedling. There must be comparison, the darker side, faster cell division, in order for you to get all those marks. The diagram below represents a stage in cell division. Study it and answer the questions that follow. Identify the stage of cell division shown in the diagram above. That is anaphase 1. Give a reason for your answer. The homologous chromosomes separate and move towards the opposite poles as the spindle fibers shorten. So you can see these are full chromosome. They are moving towards opposite poles. The other pair of it is on this side. Question 17. A student smeared the abdomen of a locust with Vaseline. What were the likely results after 10 minutes? Suffocates and die. Account for the results. Vaseline blocked the spiracles. Remember, the spiracles are found at the abdomen. Hence, gaseous exchange was stopped. With the reasons, state the nitrogenous waste excreted by the following organisms. A. Ego. Uric acid, because it is less toxic, hence requires little amount of water to dilute. Tilapia, ammonia. It is highly toxic, hence requires more water to dilute. The table below shows three enzymes, A, B, and C, and their respective optimum pH. Name the most likely region of alimentary canal of a mammal where enzyme B will be found. Enzyme B, that is optimum pH is 2, that is acidic conditions, and the acidic condition found in the stomach. Give a reason for your answer in A above. It has a lower pH due to presence of hydrochloric acid in the stomach. Question 20. Why should respiratory surfaces be moist? And it is to dissolve respiratory gases. Thin wall, to reduce distance to be covered by respiratory gases, and maybe vascularized or having supplied with a dense network of blood capillaries. The reason is for faster or quicker transportation of respiratory gases. Maybe long, to increase surface area for exchange of respiratory gases. Numerous, can be numerous, to increase surface area for gas exchange. One molecule of lipid gives more energy than one molecule of glucose when respired aerobically, but it is not always used as a respiratory substrate. Explain. Lipids are less soluble in blood plasma, hence difficult to transport. Then the lipid require more oxygen gas for complete oxidation compared to glucose. Question 22. Identify the type of placentation shown above. P is a parietal. You can see the ovules are arranged at the periphery of the fruit. Then this one is marginal placentation. The ovules are along a margin on the placenta. The graph below represents the growth of animals in a certain phylum. You can see we have growth taking place, then becomes constant, growth taking place, constant. And the type of growth pattern shown on the graph, and it is intermittent growth curve. Identify process represented by X you have here, and that is molting or acidisis. Name the hormone responsible for the process in B above, that is acidison hormone. State the branch of biology that deals with study of forces, and that is a paleontology. Briefly explain the following phenomena. The oviduct is ciliated, and that is to waft the ovum of generative nucleus in the pollen tube divides mitotically into two main nuclei, that is to be able to carry out double fertilization in the embryo sac. Question 26. Name the taxonomic unit in plant classification that comes immediately after kingdom. That is a division. Maybe in animals, it is phylum. Give the role of the following plant metabolic waste, papain, and the role of papain is to tenderize meat, or it is a meat tenderizer. Colchicine induces polyploidism in plants, or can say it is used in plant and animal breeding. Thank you for listening. You can subscribe, like, comment, and share.